How is Nolan Wells the only one who didn't return home safe, but every single one of his friends did? And how do a group of friends go on a trip and come home without one of their friends?
You know what is so crazy to me about seeing another black boy be unalived in this country is all over my feed, I'm seeing these black creators talking about it, grieving about it. I'm seeing these comments of people, being here for each other. And I know that right now, as I'm looking at that content, those moms of those white boys in Mississippi are all trying to figure out a way to keep them out of jail or to keep them without consequences. Instead of getting to the bottom of it, getting the real answers, getting the real proper truth, finding out what happened, because white women are disappointing. So, I don't know. I believe we can do better.
My heart goes out to the family of Nolan Wells. And the more that I read about this tragedy, I get angry. First, what happened to not leaving without all of the homies accounted for? You don't leave somebody behind in the club, let alone an island. Secondly, why did his mama have to call the police? Should not have the police been contacted by the friends when he was missing? I mean, what did they do when he did not come back to the boat? Wasn't that the time to call the police and wait for the police? As a black mother, it is just bringing up all kinds of fear and trauma. Our children are not safe in integrated communities. The murders of Cyrus Carmack Belton and Cohen Wiley lets us know that our babies are not even safe in our own communities. We're not safe in those communities because I can't help but to think about Tamala Hosford, who had a sleepover with football moms and mysteriously fell off the second floor balcony and nobody heard, saw, knew anything. But interestingly enough, those people that didn't hear, see, or know anything had connections to the local police. Kendrick Johnson mysteriously falling into mats and wrapping himself up and suffocating. Nobody saw, heard, or knew anything. Hell, nobody even knew how Kendrick's internal organs were missing. But it was an accident. And it just makes me sick that our babies' lives are not respected in life and their bodies are not respected in death. The seeming collusion and relationships that come out in these mysterious instances lets me know that the arc of justice is not only long, it's a long shot. I am keeping the Wells family lifted in prayer.
With the recent happening right now about the late Nolan Wells, and nobody is actually opening up saying the truth of what happened to that boy. The story has it that he went for a pool party with his friends, with his white American friends. Meanwhile, the late Nolan is a black American. The story has it that the mom is an Asian, the dad is an African. So he's a black American. So he went on a pool party with his friends. They got there and an argument erupt. They had an argument with one of the guys there. And after what happened, he was beaten all and later on they disposed him. That was just the story that has been circulating for days now in all social media platforms. And truth is that the African community, they are here to say anything about it. The Asian community, they are here to say anything about it. And it got a whole lot of people talking. Now, the issue now on ground is now between the Black Americans and the White Americans. The Black Americans are now against the White Americans, pointing accusing fingers, saying that why should they honor life? In fact, they actually teamed up to honor life this young boy, knowing fully well that he's full of life. He's an athlete. He's a promising young boy that is still growing. Now, the white Americans are not finding it that kind of accusation funny. The question now is what really happened to him. Keep watching, guys.
When I heard about the death of Nolan Wells, a young black man found off a Mississippi barrier island, my heart dropped to my stomach. I know Horn Island like the back of my hand. Black people do not frequent it. The last time I was there was about 6 years ago. It's yacht people, heavy drinking. You can't get there without a decent boat. In Jackson County, most black people do not own boats. So he went with friends. They left him there, claiming he was going to get a ride with someone else. This is highly unlikely. A young black man alone hitching a 10-mile ride back to the coast with strangers is improbable. They found him face down in the water. His body is being flown to DC for an unbiased autopsy. There are only 3 ways to die on Horn Island outside of drowning: getting shot, stabbed, or knocked in the head. The autopsy will reveal this. This is where it's gut-wrenching for me. I'm probably not going to do this adequate service. But the thing about the South's Gulf Coast is that it's a complicated, multi-layered race relationship, a bleed over from New Orleans. In my experience, it lacks the overt hostility found in other parts of the South. You see black and white people having conversations in Walmart ballparks. They all live together. And believe it or not, they tend to take care of each other. While that really doesn't happen everywhere. I'm extremely emotional as I write this. I hope people understand when I say this, that I pray he just drowned. My heart is breaking for his family. Rest in peace, Nolan. I'm Tom Hoyer with The Reset. Out.
I don't know how many times I'm going to have to say this, but I'm going to keep on saying it until it is checked, till it is over, until it is done. Whatever happened to Nolan was recorded. Check their phones. We now have them coming out saying that Nolan did make it back to shore, and he attended a pool party on July 4th. And no, I did not take this off of some random person's page. I took it off of Attorney Ben Crump's page, and you can read it for yourself right here. But for the ones that cannot read it, I'm going to read it for you. The streets are talking. Now listen, I don't know if these are facts or rumors because no official statements have been confirmed. We sometimes have to follow the clues until the truth is found. Here is what was discovered on social media last night. Social media allegation claims a photo existed of Nolan at a land-based pool party in Jackson County before 1 a.m. on July 4th. And this is the land-based pool party. And this right here is a post made by a young lady that allegedly attended this land-based pool party, had to say about what went on there. And again, you can pause to read it, but for the ones that cannot read, I'm going to read it to you. Bro, No didn't get into a fight at the island. It was our other friend. No and Wyatt did get into a altercation right after that, not even 10 minutes later, cause Wyatt took his phone and was even trying to be hard. Nolan was definitely screaming, "Give me my effing phone back." So they calmed down. So that's when we headed to Evan's house, because he was throwing a pool party. So yes, No came to the party, and yes, we was drinking, but Wyatt and Evan and Morgan and Andrew was really high, and I think they was trying to get Lucy and Tyler to try some as well. But yes, they got into it again at the pool party. It didn't end until almost 1. I know Evan's mom kicked us all out. Once they started fighting, it was Andrew and Evan and Wyatt and Morgan was basically recording.
There was a pool party that took place after the island, and you can see clearly in Evan's Instagram post, Nolan is there. Witnesses have put out statements saying that an altercation took place between Nolan, Evan, and 2 other boys, and the boys proceeded to beat Nolan to death with a metal bar and urinate on him. And all those people there watched and did nothing about it. They are no better.
It's quite unfortunate that the truth is yet to be uncovered. It's quite unfortunate that the secret is yet to be lifted up so that the worldwide will know what actually happened to Nolan Wells. Because with the way things are going, with the way they are handling this whole thing, the truth might come out, but they will not really reveal it to the public to know. Now everybody is speaking, saying their mind, reacting, saying one or two things regarding what is happening, but yet the the authorities in charge, are they really doing anything about it? That's just the question. Rest in peace to late Nolan Wells. A lot of the African communities are thrown into sad moments, thrown into a sad time because of this that happened, now causing chaos and problems everywhere. Because a lot of them are saying no, that something actually happened to him, that is not just a natural cause, that the friends were the ones that beat him. But at this point, who are we going to believe? Who are we going to believe? Just keep watching. I'll come back at the end of the video to add some commentaries to this.
I can already tell you how this investigation is probably going to go. They're probably going to find no foul play. And although there are a lot of inconsistencies, if you're from these areas, if you're from the South, familiar with the Gulf, unfortunately, this is very, very tragic. And despite a lot of these inconsistencies, this is the type of thing that happens. So they did do an autopsy. What essentially happened is Nolan goes out 4th of July weekend on a boat with his 3 friends. They're on an island. They're hanging out. He says he wants to stay back with his friends. Anyway, the friends leave with the boat. His phone is on the boat. Nolan is found a few days later. The friends say that he was staying back with another girl. He was found face down with his swimsuit on, no outside injuries, no inside injuries, because they did do the autopsy. The only thing they're waiting on is the toxicology. So his phone was one of the weird things. It was with his friends on the boat and not with him. His family found it first. That to me is not odd. He probably had one of those apps where he can trace it. And if you're out boating on the water, you're keeping your phone where it's not wet, which is probably safe in the boat. And other people are saying, so where he was left on the island, there's not exactly a place where you can call anyone, where you can walk to. It's a pretty secluded island. He's there by himself. So a lot of people are speculating, he's there, he's young and healthy. He probably tried to swim back to where people were. Why did nobody see him if he did in fact drown? It is a silent killer. And I say a lot of this too because I grew up right next to Lake Lanier. Just look up the history. We have drownings all the time, to the point where there are conspiracy theories. There have been movies made. It's the most haunted lake, and there are all these people that pass away and all of these conspiracies around it. But unfortunately, it's the same situation. It's a lot of people that are young and athletic and healthy, and they go to the lake and they're partying and they're hanging out, and a lot of them get in the water when they shouldn't, or they're swimming, and unfortunately they end up drowning a lot. And it is really hard to imagine a young, healthy, athletic, capable person. It is hard to imagine that happening, which is why you get a lot of the conspiracy, which is why people don't want to believe it, I guess. But that is looking like more than likely what happened. And another reason probably for some of the I'm not sure, but in the pictures that it showed, it looks like they might be partaking in other ones as well. So that could also explain a lot of some of the other miscommunications or inconsistencies. That happens a lot. I used to go to Panama City for spring break. It happens. You're out with friends, you meet up with other friends, you're moving along, like it happens, and hopefully it's a cautionary tale.
My heart, my love goes out to Nolan, to his family. We all want justice for Nolan. And once again, I do not say this lightly. This is a very tragic death. There are no words to this. And it is even difficult to find the right words because it is beyond devastating. And I want to also point out, anyone in the comment section saying horrible things, like how Nolan's mom had to come and say, Christine should to publicly say, oh, It is horrible that people are joking and making fun of this. And I even had 2 people who I knew from my high school joke and say something. It is beyond disgusting. And then people want to ask stuff. Why is everyone making this about race? Why is everyone making this a big deal? Why is everyone jumping to conclusions? Why is everyone saying that these white boys killed him? Because they did. Because it's comments like that. It is energy like that. It is frequency like that. That is just proof of how messed up the collective is, how divided society is, how this society, this energy has been built on a system from white people just placing this energy of injustice onto black people. And the fact that white people don't see this and need to comment saying this just shows how ignorant and how narrow-minded that white people are. And I want to point out, this photo says a lot. Images say 1,000 words. First of all, in the water holds memory. His body was found in a body of water. They were on boats around an energy of water. That water holds memory, it holds frequency, it holds the voices of ancestors. Once again, another photo, another message. The ancestors, the universe creator wants to show us a body of water, pool. Water holds memory, holds frequency, holds remembrance, showing you, is pointing, connecting the dots. Then Nolan is looking. I want you to ask yourself, what does this photo show you? Because for me, this photo, it is showing me a call for help almost. I don't know if, and I don't say this lightly. I'm not trying to say this with any, this photo, when I tapped into it, is this energy of help, uncomfortable. It is a message looking almost at us all, at humanity, to look at one another, to look at the mirror. Another example, water's reflection. Look at the mirror. I really want humanity to ask themselves, how can we unite? How can we bring justice? How can we listen? How can we listen to their stories, to Black people, what they have been through, what history, what stories, what energy, what frequency, how they have felt. This goes so deep. This goes so deep. And people constantly ask me, what is spirituality? Spirituality is listening to one another. It is listening to one another, sitting there and actually having an open heart, an open mind, and the empathy to listen to one another. And people are so quick to just judge, to make it about themselves, to deflect, to get into a mode of defense, instead of listening to what this person, to what that individual has gone through. I believe Nolan holds a divine code, and that divine code is for the injustice that have been put by white people onto Black people. This imprint of injustice of what we have done. And it is rippling in the collective right now to listen to this story, to his story right now, to listen to what has happened.
If you have watched up to this point, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for showing your amazing support to this channel. I really, really do appreciate. One love, guys. Let's keep the family of the deceased in prayers, the mother, the father, and as we hope and believe that the truth will be uncovered, we believe that the authorities will handle it the right way and get to the roots of the matter and what actually happened. Because at this point, the black community, the white community are all in chaos. They are not finding it funny. The black community, they are accusing the white community that they really know what happened to their son. Meanwhile, the white community are saying that they don't know, that they had no idea of what happened, that they just went for pool party and it got to this point. Who are we to believe at this point? Everyone is confused. Everyone is confused. As we pray and believe that the truth will be uncovered, and also pray for the family that they should take heart, and we pray for the repose of the dead. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Like, share, and comment this video. See you guys in the next video. Bye.